They said the shop was finished. They said the old guitar maker would lose everything by morning. But then a quiet man in a black coat stepped inside, and everything changed. Before the story continues, subscribe to Voices of Darkness, like this video, share it with your friends, because stories like this deserve to be heard. Asterisk, asterisk, the shop. That time forgot asterisk the bell above the door hadn't rung in days, not because it was broken, but because nobody came anymore. The guitar shop sat between a closed diner and a boarded-up bookstore on a dying street most people avoided. The sign above the window read, Hawthorne Guitars, EST, 1974. The paint was faded, the letters were cracked, and the glass had more memories than reflections. Inside, dust floated like ghosts in the air. Old guitars hung from the walls, some missing strings, some scarred, all loved once. Behind the counter stood Elliot Hawthorne, age 6'7". His hands shook slightly as he wiped the same spot on the counter for the third time. Not because it was dirty, because he didn't know what else to do. Tomorrow, the bank would take the shop. 50 years of work, 50 years of music, gone. Elliot had built guitars for kids who couldn't afford new ones. He fixed broken instruments for bands that never made it. He taught teenagers their first chords when their parents couldn't. And now, none of that mattered to the bank. Only numbers did. Asterisk, a life made of strings, and would asterisk. Elliot didn't open the shop for money. He opened it because music saved him. In 1973, Elliot was a factory worker with a bad back and a worse future. Long hours, no dreams, nothing waiting at home except silence. One night, after a shift that nearly broke him, he wandered into a small bar. On stage was a band covering Black Sabbath. The song, Changes. Elliot stood frozen. For the first time in his life, someone sang exactly what he felt. Pain, loss, hope, hiding under darkness. That night, Elliot bought his first used guitar with money, meant for rent. He slept on a couch for 2 months, but he played every day. Music didn't make him rich. It made him alive. And that's why Hawthorne Guitars existed. The last day, the eviction notice sat on the counter, bold letters, cold words. Final notice. Elliot folded it slowly and placed it inside the register, the same register that hadn't opened for hours. Then, the bell rang. Elliot looked up, confused. A man stood in the doorway, older, long dark hair streaked with gray, round glasses, black coat. He didn't say anything at first. He just looked around, at the guitars, at the walls, at the soul of the place. Elliot cleared his throat. Shop's closing, he said quietly. Not much left to sell. The man smiled gently. I'm not here to buy, he said. But his voice was calm, familiar, rough in a way that felt historic. I just wanted to hear the room. A strange request. The man walked slowly along the wall, touching nothing. Who built these? He asked. I did, Elliot replied. Everyone. Yes. The man nodded, impressed. Play me something, he said. Elliot blinked. I don't really, please, the man said softly. So Elliot reached for the nearest guitar, an old acoustic, cracked body, warm tone. His fingers hesitated. Then he played, not loud, not flashy. Just honest, a slow melody born from loss. Halfway through, Elliot realized the man's eyes were closed, listening like it mattered. When the song ended, the shop was silent. The man opened his eyes. That song saved my life once, he said. Elliot froze. Excuse me. The man smiled. I wrote it. Realization. Elliot laughed nervously. That's not funny. The man removed his glasses. People say that a lot. It hit Elliot like a wave. The voice, the presence, the weight in the air. Oh my God, Elliot whispered. Standing in his dying shop was Ozzy Osbourne, the man whose music carried him through his darkest years. Elliot's knees buckled. Ozzy caught him before he fell. Easy, Ozzy said. You've stood long enough. Why? Ozzy came. Asterisk. They sat on old stools near the counter. Ozzy looked around again. You know, he said, this place feels like how music used to feel. Elliot swallowed hard. I'm losing it tomorrow. Ozzy nodded. I know. That shocked Elliot. I heard about this shop from a kid in LA. Ozzy continued. Said his first guitar came from here. Said you fixed it for free. Elliot shrugged. He was talented, just needed a chance. Ozzy leaned forward. I was that kid once. The check. Ozzy stood up and walked to the counter. He pulled out a checkbook. Elliot laughed again, disbelieving. No, I couldn't. Ozzy wrote calmly. Tore the check. placed it on the counter. $100,000. Elliot's breath stopped. This covers your debt, Ozzy said, and keeps the shop open. Elliot shook his head, tears falling freely. Why? He asked. You don't even know me. Ozzy looked him straight in the eyes. Music saved me, he said, and places like this are where music is born. More than money, but Ozzy wasn't finished. I want this shop to become a school, he added. Free lessons, repairs for kids who can't pay. Elliot sobbed openly now. I don't want my name on it, Ozzy said. Keep yours. The bell rang again as Ozzy left. Just like that, no cameras, no headlines, no applause. Only change. 1 year later, Hawthorne Guitars was alive. Kids filled the room. Music spilled onto the street. Dreams replaced dust. On the wall hung a small framed note, for the ones who play from the heart. Oh, Elliot smiled every day. If this story touched your heart, if you love Ozzy Osbourne, if music has ever saved you, subscribe to Voices of Darkness, like this video, share it with your friends. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers now. Prove your love. Comment your name below, because the next story might carry your name in it. Voices of Darkness, where legends still walk among us.